Welcome to Soul 420. I'm your host, Goddess Z. Welcome to another episode of Love Soul 420. And I know I'm probably taking long between episodes, but we're here, right? Um, this is actually season two. Season one was Where's the Love, but season two is called Things Done Change. And for many reasons, right? Because I think 2020 and 2021 was kind of like the end for a lot of people and the beginning for a lot more people. I think the pandemic kind of brought down the house, but it also created a new space for what people are considering the new world order. But it's not really what you thought it was going to be. A lot of people are feeling a shift. They're feeling this transition globally, but also spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, in a lot of ways. Things then change, like the late Biggie Smalls said, so you're either going to come along for the ride or to tell you the truth, you probably are going to get left behind. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about the real reason why NFTs are blowing up, right? First, understand what NFTs are about. And I know a lot of times if you look it up, you're going to hear non-fungible token, and you're probably like, what the hell does that mean? Number one, you need to be in the cryptocurrency game to even understand what NFT is or the value it brings to the table. If you don't have any cryptocurrency whatsoever, you don't own any cryptocurrency coins, this video is going to sound like I'm talking another language. So if you don't have any cryptocurrency, I suggest that you go to Coinbase. I'll have a link in the description where you can just go ahead and set up an account and start there. Now, for those of you who already have cryptocurrency, you already understand how it works, you already got investments, whether it's with Bitcoin or Shibu or all these other different things that are popping off, then you're in the right place. Now, the reason why NFTs are so important to so many people is because it's especially for digital artists. It's a revolution. And that's because there was a time when you had traditional artists, like, people that did oil painting or acrylic painting or pottery, and those were considered fine art, which they still are. But that was kind of like a circle within itself. And if you weren't in that circle or part of that social life, it was almost impossible for you to get your foot in. Now, when digital artists came along, they were kind of like frowned upon because a lot of artists didn't consider digital art fine art. They were like, oh, that's just, designing on the computer. That's not real art. Well, that's not true. A lot of people don't really understand what goes into creating digital art. It takes a lot of time, almost about the same time it takes for you to create a piece by hand. And understand most people that do digital art are artists outside of the computer world. Most likely they've done art, outside of creating digital art. So digital art definitely plays an important piece in everything. It's part of how we market. It's part of how we advertise. So it has its value. And NFTs basically created a space in with the ethereum cryptocurrency, because that's the exchange that you need to use if you want to buy an NFT. You gotta have ethereum, or for short they call it ETH. So NFTs now are basically digital art or mediums or files that you can purchase on the blockchain with cryptocurrency. So this is a game changer because now artists can actually put a price tag on the art that they create. And if they have a following or they have their own community, then it's an exchange between that community. It's kind of like baseball cards. If you're collecting them, you're either keeping the ones you like or selling the ones you want to trade. And that's how NFTs work. They are basically the new era in music as well. There was a time when music was on 8 tracks, and then it was on records, and then it was on cassettes, and then it was on CDs, and then it was digital files. Well, now it's NFTs. Tory Lanez is the perfect example of someone who utilized the NFT platform to really make some money with his music. He put his album as an NFT. And yes, that's what's great about the NFT platform is that the artist now has control over where they store their art and how they trade it or sell it to a collector, and also can determine the price or the value of what they're selling. So again, you got to have cryptocurrency to be in this game. You got to own some coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, those are the three major players. And then there's a whole bunch of other coins under there that I can go into in another video. But to start off, again, if you don't have any cryptocurrency whatsoever, none of this is going to mean anything to you until you go ahead and at least set up an account and start trading some money. Transferring money, regular money into Bitcoin. You could even use Cash App now as a way to exchange Bitcoin. Now, let me also give you a little bit of understanding about the culture behind NFTs. Now, with anything that is in this world, there's always going to be the good and bad apples. So yes, is it possible that the NFT platform can be used as a way to funnel money, whatever? Yes, that's not off the table. But the real artists behind NFTs have absolutely no intention to use cryptocurrency as a way to do anything that's criminal. Artists have a pride in the stuff that they do, a huge pride in what they do. And one thing about real NFT artists is that if you're in it just to make money, they will shun you. They will literally X you, get you off their team, do whatever they can to blacklist you, because that's not what it's about. It's about the value of the art, the meaning behind the art, the meaning behind the community that represents the art. It's all of those things. It's the purpose that's laid out for why an NFT artist even creates art in the first place. So if you're in it for the culture or for the support of a community, then you can definitely monetize in this industry. But if you're coming in here with a very dark motive to just try to get rich and just try to buy whatever is happening or what's trending just so you can sell it, and eventually people are going to figure you out and people are not going to deal with you. I can tell you right now, a bad reputation will spin off real fast across the digital art community real quick. Now, each NFT has value based on the community behind it, based on the purpose behind it. So when someone creates an NFT or a work of art, just like an artist at a gallery who would create a piece, or a series of pieces like Picasso, it's the message behind it or the beauty behind it or the style of art behind it. So there's a community behind each NFT. Anytime somebody creates an NFT, they're creating it with purpose. They're creating it for awareness, or they're creating it for a group of people to support them. There's always some type of purpose behind the NFT. So if you are interested in creating an NFT, try to figure out, well, what's the reason you want to create it to begin with? Because that's what's going to determine what its real value is. Now, you probably hear a little bit of what's called the metaverse. What's the metaverse? That's where NFTs are getting traded as well. Well, if you have any kind of social media, technically you're part of the metaverse. The metaverse is the digital world. And there just happens to be certain websites or platforms or virtual spaces that you can enter where your digital ID can follow you, or where you can register with your digital ID. If you have any kind of social media, you kind of already are in the metaverse. You're in cyberspace one way or another. So there's different platforms where people can go in and virtually meet with each other and have discussions or even trade NFTs, or build actual communities. There's people building, properties and land and space. You probably heard about Facebook. They're about to change their name to Meta, and they're about to enter the metaverse. They're about to go into this virtual reality space. If any of you have kids that are really big video gamers and fanatics, you better make them your best friend, because they are going to be your ticket into understanding this whole way of life when it comes to the metaverse and virtual reality and cryptocurrency, NFT. So if you have a kid that's real good at gaming, be glad that you let them play a couple games, because I'm telling you, they're going to understand how this all works. They are holding the keys to you making, you know, creating some kind of general wealth for your family by investing in this NFT space, especially now because it's early in the game. Um, there's a lot of NFT industry leaders. I can name a couple on the top of my head, which is the Board Ape Yacht Club. They're huge online. They have grown. I remember listening on them on Clubhouse, and why, you know, they were probably selling a Board Ape for about 800. Now they're going for like a quarter mil. A couple. I mean, they're worth almost $200 million now. So they're definitely leaders in this industry right now. Crypto Pills is another one that's growing. They also have a room on Clubhouse that you can listen in on. There's a lot of Crypto Pills, NFT collectors. They're loving it. There's there's Bohemian Cat Club. That's one that I really, really like, and I started getting into. I'm gonna name a few of them in the description, so you can take a look. And that way you can have an idea of who to go and follow. None of these people are endorsing me in any way. This podcast is strictly for your information only. All right, and I want to make it very clear, I am not a financial advisor or consultant. There is a lot of risk involved in NFTs. So if you need, like, you know, financial advice, I would suggest you contact someone that's credible or someone that's certified in finances. I'm not. Everything that I'm sharing with you guys is based on my own experience and my own findings. So the real reason why NFT is blowing up is because, again, it's giving digital artists power over their art, whether they're musicians, artists, photographers, anybody that's in the art industry as a whole. And a lot of people that are still involved in traditional art still can't understand the value it could bring to them. But it doesn't mean it's replacing traditional art. NFTs is just another avenue, another highway, another road. Another stream of income for any artist out there. Tangible art is always going to have its value because you can hold it. I mean, if we ran out of electricity right now and everything's just shut down, none of the digital stuff that's online would matter, right? So it's just another an avenue for you to build a stream of income, for you to create investments, and for you to make money. It's not replacing anything in the real world. So it's blowing up because it's giving people the ability now to have control over how much money they can really make. You really do have the power to make your own income, create your own community, build a project or anything like that, and have all the tools online to do it. It's not limited. As long as you have the internet and you have a computer, you're set. So why not? Right? So again, you know, NFTs is giving anybody who's in the art space the opportunity to now utilize a whole different space to create value for whatever message or awareness or purpose they want to, you know, bring attention to. So anyway, I hope you guys found that helpful. I really just wanted to touch on that on this episode. On the next episodes coming up, I'm going to have a couple of interviews coming up soon. And I'm also going to talk about a project that I recently started. And I'm also going to go into how NFTs can help specific industries, such as photographers, digital art, let me see, music, even real estate. So if you just subscribe, like, share, follow, and make sure you check out my next video where I'll go more into, you know, what are the spaces that you can use. I'll list all of the websites where you can actually go and create the NFTs for the different areas when it comes to art. So I hope you guys found that helpful. And until next time, God is Z with Love Soul 420.